Guys, or all right fighters should I say. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Finn Kennett. I'm a fight nutritionist. I work with some of the best fighters in the entire world, in boxing, in Muay Thai, in mixed martial arts. I've worked with fighters in bare knuckle fighting and even Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? Now, I wanted to make this video to teach you my method and how I actually do things with fighters so that I can help as many of you fighters, across the entire world as possible, all right? Now, for me, when I'm working with fighters, there's three ways that we like to do things. So, fuel fight camp, making weight with zero stress, and going into every single fight feeling the best that you've ever felt. And my actual sort of philosophy and way of doing things, if you like, is to always prioritize and focus on your performance. So typically when I work with fighters, we will put together a 10 to 12 week camp. Now, obviously, not always we're going to be in a position to do this. Sometimes it can be 6 to 8 weeks, okay? But the idea is we spend as much time and as long a time period as we possibly can to actually get you prepared to feel the best that you possibly can in your fight. So that comes to obviously giving us enough time and then fueling the fight camp, okay? So when we fuel the fight camp up, it's going to typically be made up of 4 meals a day, eating enough carbs, so 4 to 8 grams for every kilogram of body weight, which means you eat more on your training days, less on your rest days, all right? And what you're going to do is you're going to balance things out by, like I said, lowering them carbs on your rest days by increasing the protein, the fats, and the vegetables, and obviously keeping your steps high and things like that, okay? But I don't obviously want to confuse you. Now, the way that things are actually done, and a lot of fighters that I'm working will be eating foods such as like Biscoff toast, Nutella bagels, sweets, obviously pasta, rice. But the key is to actually put weight checks in place. So in a fight camp, we'll put 3 weight checks in on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday, empty stomach. And the reason for all this is probably what you would think. It's to make sure we're in a position where we know what's actually going on with the scale and how the body is actually responding to the methods that we're putting in place. So obviously that's crucial, right? So obviously we'll have the hydration in place, maybe put some supplements in like creatine, beetroot shots, beta-alanine, sodium bicarbonate, electrolytes, whatever, whey protein, whatever specific to that fighter at that period of time. Excuse me, guys. Now, once we get to a position where we're, let's say, a month out from the fight, or we're getting close to the fight, we'll then start to gradually change things such as, decreasing the carbohydrates, reducing the calories slightly, swapping oils and butters out for, 1 calorie cooking sprays, increasing step counts, so 10,000 steps, 12,000, 15,000 steps per day minimum, and even things, the cardio, so it might be doing the incline treadmill, could be me walking on the treadmill, you've got the cycling machine. And that's going to allow us to bring the weight down gradually. And then what we'll typically do is the week before the fight, we'll then start to really ramp it up to make weight easy. Now, this is obviously going to be for a day before weigh-in, so I'll explain to you how it works because most of the fighters that I'm working with are on a day before weigh-in, right? So what we would do is around 7 to 10 days before the fight, again, the heavier you are, the further away we would take this, we would start implementing this. We reduce the carbs in your diet to around 150 grams. It could be 185 grams, depending on, as I say again, how much weight you've got to lose and how far you are above your fighting weight. So we'll do this because what it does is it reduces your glycogen, your muscle glycogen, your liver glycogen, which attaches to water molecules within the muscles and the liver, which takes up a massive part of your body weight, all right? So we do that, and then that's going to allow us, with weight checks on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday and a Sunday at this period of time, the week before the fight, to get to a comfortable weight on fight week, which is 3 to 4 kilograms above your fighting weight. Fight week starts on the Monday, weigh-in's on Friday, fights on the Saturday. Now, what we will do is now, on the actual week of the fight, we'll then start to make changes so that you drop weight fast. Now, a lot of fighters will get mixed up with this part, and that's why I'm going to tell you what it is that you need to do and how I do it with fighters. A lot of fighters believe that you need to start eating less calories and eating less food. Well, technically, you do have to eat less food, but not less calories. We're not actually after losing body fat. We're actually after a different thing here, which is losing body weight and changing your body water, all right? So what we'll do is we'll lower things such as fibre, which is undigested, which will stay in the digestive tract for a considerable amount of time. We'll lower the carbs even further. It could be 50 all the way up to 85 grams, again, depending on how heavy you are. We'll also reduce the salt and sodium Typically, we do this 2 days before the actual weigh-in, and we'll reduce the weight of the meals that you eat, so we can still eat things such as ice cream, chicken thighs, obviously things like butter, maybe small amounts of peanut butter are going to be good, oils, as I said, chicken thighs, lamb leg steaks, ribeye steaks, fried eggs. Again, what we're actually looking for on fight week now is foods which are what we call calorie dense, so you can have a small amount but still have a high amount of calories, because again, we're trying to change the way your body holds onto water so you can make weight, okay? And then we'll typically then actually make the weight by keeping your body in a minimally depleted and dehydrated time for a small amount of time as possible. So the day before the weigh-in, we'll actually start using things such as hot bath methods, the towel wraps, could be the sauna sometimes, depending on what you've got access to. And then we'll do it the day before the weigh-in and finish the remaining on the morning of the weigh-in if we need to, all right? And then we replace 150% of the fluid you've lost. So we'll get the total amount of fluid in and then replace, electrolytes, sodium, etc., things like that, right? And refuel with 10 to 12 grams for every kilogram of body weight. Then all that's left to do on fight day is carb load. We'll go with a range usually of 6 to 8 grams for every kilogram of body weight, and then we'll hydrate your body. We'll typically go with your hydration on fight day at 50 millilitres for every kilogram, focusing on getting the total amount of fluid in, and obviously again the key electrolytes such as your sodium, all right, and even potassium. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video and the method and the easy plans that I put together for fighters. I hope it's actually helped you, and if you want to see more videos like this from the best in the game, Finn Kenny, Fight Nutritionist, don't forget to give me a YouTube channel a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thank you very much.